Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes, where every week we look at the astrology and numerology for a special celestial event. And this week it is the Aquarius new moon. Now, as you know, we are now in the process of acclimating to the new age of Aquarius. And so this is the first Aquarius event, the big Aquarius new moon, following the solstice on December 21st, when Saturn and Jupiter joined forces at 0 degrees in Aquarius. So it's an important event, and as it turns out, it's even more exciting in that we have 6 celestial bodies in Aquarius at the time of this new moon. It's pretty extraordinary. So it takes place on February 11th at 7:06 p.m. Universal Time, that's in London, 2:06 p.m. Eastern Time, New York, and 11:06 a.m. Pacific Time, LA. And of course, you don't need to be an Aquarius to benefit from this forecast. You have Aquarius somewhere in your astrology birth map. And so this new moon takes place in that house, and it impacts certain planets in your birth chart. So everyone is actually impacted by these lunation, full moon, new moon forecasts. So we've had a couple of powerful transits already with Uranus, and those are important because Uranus rules Aquarius. We've had connections to Mars, connections to Saturn, and Uranus is helping us acclimate to the Aquarian age as we navigate those new paradigms. And this new moon in Aquarius will speed up that acclimation to pretty much the theme is freedom. Not only that, we have Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, as of February 1st, Venus, Mercury retrograde, creating a quadruple square to Uranus, that ruler of Aquarius, during this new moon. And the Sun, Moon, Mercury retrograde, Venus, and Jupiter, and those two are conjunct, Venus and Jupiter, which we're going to go into, that amazing conjunction during this new moon. Those 5 celestial bodies are creating a quintuple square to Mars. Now, Mars and Uranus are both in Taurus right now, and that's why we have these really strong activations in these 2 squares to these 2 planets. And so there's an energy of love that's exchanging with an energy of freedom between the sign that Venus rules, Taurus, and the sign, of course, Aquarius, which is all about freedom. So the connection to Uranus continues that theme of consistent change, being open, being flexible, inquiring, going on tangents, exploring. Let's continue that theme with the degree number of this new moon, which is 23 degrees. And what's so extraordinary is 23 degrees is where the last 3 new moons of 2020 were located in their respective signs. And the first 3 new moons of 2021 are also at 23 degrees. Pretty amazing, right? This is the second of the 3. We had the Capricorn new moon in January. Now we have the Aquarius new moon, and then there'll be the Pisces new moon, all at 23 degrees. So 23 is the royal star of the lion number. And it instills the courage to be able to shift. It's all about leadership, courage, joy, feeling royal, right? Feeling like a star, feeling Leonian, Leo, lion, king of the jungle. And since Aquarius is the sign of freedom and breakthroughs, you're really turning into that intrepid explorer now. And this new moon, of course, like any new moon, indicates new beginnings. So new explorations, new adventures, new discoveries, that you are basically investigating uncharted territories in every part of your life. And of course, Aquarius is about stimulating inspiration and exploration, going out of bounds, covering new ground, focusing on the future, focusing on leaving old paradigms behind, and also on what connects you to humanity. It's a very humanitarian sign. It governs the groups that you feel close to, not necessarily related to blood family, but literally soul groups that you connect to. And so it also governs the higher mind, higher consciousness, the freedom to cover new angles and new ideas. And that also means exploring who you are at soul level. So Aquarius really is about finding inventive solutions, connecting the dots, especially about getting inspiration on how you want to move forward, because the sign actually governs the future. Now, you know that we've had a lot of Capricorn events in 2020. And Capricorn represents the past paradigms, right? Structures, old structures. Aquarius now is moving us into the future. And so because it governs being humanitarian, you take an interest more in how you are able to be of service to others. You take an interest in others. You see the big picture, how it impacts all of us, and how outcomes for you that are positive also are positive outcomes for others if they're not derived from egocentric behavior. So Aquarius rules that higher wisdom, that higher mind that is filled with innovative ideas. And Aquarius likes to figure out how things work, why they happened, what the background is, do some research. So Aquarius goes into the unconventional, into what is unique, what makes you unique. And so there are a lot of excitement, surprises, unexpected energies, because you're seeking knowledge, you're seeking freedom. The knowledge, the truth shall set you free is a wonderful way to describe Aquarius. And of course, the shadow side, every sign, every number, every frequency has the shadow expression. And in this case, that is being aloof, like not engaging with your heart. Being inflexible, having a fear of engagement as opposed to being fearless, not getting involved, abstaining, right? So there are a lot of planetary activations during this new moon. We're going to go over those first, and then we're going to go into an extensive tips section for you. So the moon is square to Mars. The sun is square to Mars. This gives you tremendous emotional focus and direction and drive, and it stimulates your creative energy and your instinct. And so it's important to channel this energy into some project that lights you up, right? Now, you may feel impulsive, so be extra patient. You want to act. I mean, squares always have you act. And we have a quintuple square and a quadruple square with Mars and Uranus here, respectively. So we need to actually put our beliefs and our understanding and our wisdom into action. And of course, positive action that is based on soul-inspired activity, not egocentric, me first activity. So you feel energized, you feel stimulated, you feel creative. Guard against arguments, aggression, and reaction. Now, the transit that I'm so excited about, that's exact during this Aquarius new moon, is Venus conjunct Jupiter at 12 degrees Aquarius. And this is so beautiful for happiness and attracting love, attracting affection, being passionately engaged with others, also socially, wanting to experience culture and music and entertainment, and nurturing your inner artists. You just feel very good and loving. You feel romantic. And relationships really come into the foreground now because of Venus, both personal and platonic. So you can fall in love at this time. You can kindle a new romance, or you can rekindle a romance, right? We are in Mercury retrograde, after all. Mercury retrograde in the same side of Aquarius. So this is very much favoring anything that feels abundant, beautiful, filled with pleasure. And so you want to focus on those things. You want to focus on your financial flow and the expansion, Jupiter, expansion of finances, expansion of love. You just, in general, feel lucky. It's just an incredible conjunction. The two benefics of astrology, Venus and Jupiter, coming together here right on the day of the Aquarius new moon. So it really bodes well for you when you are focused in a positive, uplifting way, high vibrational way. Now, Mercury retrograde is also conjunct Venus during this Aquarius new moon, and that means you can communicate extra lovingly, extra caring. You can share your love with people that are close to you and appreciate them with words, and in turn, you're touched by others as well. So this also enhances your creative gifts, your innate artistic gifts. So you want to listen to that inner poet. And it also favors negotiations and any interchanges with others, and also enhances social interaction. So this is good for just getting out and connecting, hopefully in real time. But if it is actually on video chat, that's another way to do it, of course. So both of these transits, both of these conjunctions with Venus enhance your love and caring for others and gratitude for your life, and also stimulates you professionally as well, as transactions and contracts are favored. And so surround yourself with the beauty of the arts. Listen to music that inspires you. Look at paintings. Engage in the appreciation of the artist, right? Dance, music, poetry, whatever the case may be. It's just so beautiful to have this connection, especially since we have all those squares going on too. So Mercury retrograde is also square to Mars, and that means don't rush into things. Don't be hasty. Take deep breaths. Very, very important. This is very heightened energy, this incredible square situation to Mars and to Uranus. So you want to exercise with Mars, right? When Mars is activated, even by just one square, you want to exercise. You want to move your body. You want to release that tension that might be building up. And you want to, with Mercury retrograde, guard against communicating in an aggressive way, right? In a I'm right, you're wrong, judgmental way. So focus on practical, constructive thoughts that allow you to express this very quick-paced energy in a positive way. And then Mars is fortunately also sextile to Neptune, and that makes the day very romantic, or the whole new moon experience, that this whole week very romantic. It gives you a whole drive to go and listen to your intuition, your hunches, to tune into compassion and nurturing in a beautiful way. And, Neptune is so about embracing others. We are all one. So expressing that creative passion, again, in the arts. The arts are very much activated with the Venus emphasis, and also Neptune being connected positively to Mars. And the final transit we'll look at is that Chiron, the healer, is sextile to Saturn, the timekeeper, the teacher. That is exact during this new moon as well, just like Jupiter and Venus conjunction is exact. And Chiron engages your heart. Saturn, the great teacher, makes sure you take responsibility, don't skip a step, focus on reality. So you're taking responsibility for any tendency to be judgmental, and you're replacing it with tolerance, with love, with acceptance, with surrender, with understanding, with compassion. And you're basically accepting your own personal soul truth. You're acknowledging how you are here to enhance the world, no matter how small or large that gesture may be. So that means your faith and trust in who you are is blossoming. And Chiron transits to Saturn ask you to change some part of your life in terms of the structure, so that you can create space for being vulnerable, create space for your uniqueness. And Saturn energy allows you to manifest that and crystallize those plans. And you can take that sensitive energy with Chiron to change up old paradigms. You're sensitive now to the paradigms, and you've taken on what you thought was good and must maintain to stay in control. And you're realizing now, okay, well, that is not doing me any good right now. So you're paying close attention to how you can take care of your soul-centered needs, right? That means your soft side is being explored. Your soft side needs to be embraced. So Chiron transiting Saturn opens you up to those profound healing healings and feelings, right? Not resisting feelings of joy, of pain, of being sensitive, and instead rigidly adhering to some kind of plan, which is very egocentric because you're ignoring how you're really finding yourself, how you're feeling. So this is a readjustment and a healing that is facilitated by you being very open and in the flow with the Aquarius energy. So this new moon, due to the square to Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, is going to bring a lot of unexpected events, unexpected situations that are going to crop up. And, that doesn't mean anything negative. It just means it'll just appear. It'll be a surprise. So it's important to be flexible, to be patient, to take things slowly. And because of that positive flow, Jupiter conjunct Venus, that will keep you very much rooted in love and beauty and gratitude. So it's a great time to make a radical fresh start because you will feel that support, that natural support. And remember that Aquarius is that sign that allows you to break free from the past, from attachments. And freedom is fundamental when we want to move away from feeling like we're victims or not in control, right? Now, your conditioned self, your ego, that part of you does run on fear. And Aquarius is about being fearless. But that ego is maintained by being in a state of fear, not doing something because you're afraid or doing something because you're afraid, right? And fear is the absence of love. That's because fear, just by the nature of what fear creates internally, is a lack of trust. So when you feel fearful, you actually reject life itself. Because love and life are about trusting that there is a natural flow that is supportive, that is living. Right? So fear and love actually can't exist at the same time. They are mutually exclusive. You are either immersed in one or you're immersed in the other. And that is actually good news because it means you have that choice to join one or the other. So if you join fear, that's a primitive response to the ego. That's the shadow side of Mars, for example. It's survival instinct. It's kill or be killed. That kind of thing. So the ego solution is to conquer, to control, to intimidate, to dominate in order to feel like it matters, right? So the domination extends both to other human beings and to the environment. And that quintuple square, the 5-planet square to Mars, is expressed in a low vibrational way as being on that survival instinct, right? So then we have Mercury retrograde and Venus-Jupiter conjunction, and those are exposing the tension that can arise from ego-driven thoughts and move us away from being in a place of love, right? So solutions that the ego seeks to a perceived problem when in survival instinct is to vanquish, is to be on top, is to conquer everything and anything that is in its way, basically. And in pursuit of survival, the ego believes that it needs to be powerful, recognized, strong, beautiful, intelligent, right? It needs all those things to feel like it is doing well. So if those things are actually accomplished, achieved, attained, the ego believes that that is the root of happiness. That is the root of comfort, of having food on the table, of having an intimate relationship, safety, security. That will all be guaranteed if you have those things: power, beauty, strength, intelligence. However, this does leave out one very important component. The ego does not seek love. So that means that it is totally an illusion because love is life, love is light, and the ego doesn't seek life. There is no room for love in in the ego's world, unless love is used as a tool to achieve a goal. But then, of course, it isn't true love, right? In all other instances, the ego actually believes that love is weak, vulnerable, and creates a potential problem for that reason. And that's because the ego needs to conquer. The ego needs to dominate. And in love, you must let down your guard. You must be vulnerable. You must trust that another person won't hurt you. You must just trust that. You must share. You must compromise. And those gentle, courageous, wise qualities don't fit into the domain of the ego. So until we start to gain mastery over our own egos, our intimate relationships, our friendships tend to be mostly dysfunctional, right? Because a fear-based ego is opposite of love. It's actually the enemy of love. And so the ego just doesn't know much of anything about love. It doesn't value love. It undermines, if anything, all that is loving and generous and compassionate and kind. So you could call that the destroyer of love, the destroyer of relationships, because it is self-centered. It is not unity consciousness. Until we start to acknowledge that and connect to our true heart and soul, right, who we are, we cannot actually feel happy. Because happiness, just like love, cannot coexist with fear. So true happiness then comes from connecting to our soul through beauty, through love, through peace. Not from getting something, not from dominating over something, which is the strategy of the ego. And of course, the ego will never attain what it actually so desires. And this Jupiter-Venus conjunction is a beautiful symbol of everything that is activated when we are loving. We feel grateful, we feel peaceful, we feel beautiful, we feel a sense of true connection. Right? Miracles. And during this Aquarius new moon, it's a really great time to consciously engage in overcoming your fears as they come up one by one. To some degree, that has to be done because fear is so intimately tied to the ego. And you won't see past the ego until you start overcoming fear at some level. So, now, of course, most of us have grown up in an unsafe environment. We've grown up in dysfunctional families, threatening environments. And that has definitely prevented us from relaxing into our true nature, our soul, which is aligned with peace, which is aligned with love. And if we're still in that place, then we cannot trust. We haven't felt that trust, that faith. So if we are in a state where we are constantly feeling on guard, there's something coming that's going to ruin something or attack us or disappoint us, there's no way that we can live in this place of true love. And of course, there are a lot of people who live in this kind of environment, right? But even if you don't, even if you feel safe and you have a place that feels secure and food's on the table and you feel taken care of and loved, you still have some fears. These are the universal fears of death, of course, of poverty, of ill health, of getting old, right? Of being lonely, whatever the case may be. These are universal, and even those fears, and especially those fears, need to also be overcome because they are about life as a human. So they run to the core of living on Earth. And surrendering those fears and trusting in the divine intelligence as being the mother, the nurturer behind all life will give you that true source of, like, I don't have to fear anything. I'm taken care of by Mother, Father, God, by Source, by divine intelligence. So ask yourself, do you trust in that? Because that will set you free. That will be surrendering your fears, right? And if you do trust in it, how will it change how you feel about life and how you are being in your life if you totally trust in that beautiful source of support? So I find, to me, the best way to get back on track if there's tension that I feel is to take a deep breath and feel my way back into the relaxation that comes with peace, comes with feeling that love and peace that is naturally there, because we are, after all, Aquarius, connected to everything, connected to God consciousness, right? So allow yourself to feel that support, to let yourself be held, to let yourself be nurtured, because you are safe. Life is supporting your existence. You've always been taken care of, and you'll always be taken care of. You've always been supported by people, by situations, by information, by opportunities, by your own gifts, by your own innate intelligence, by your beautiful body. You've always been supported. And this nourishment continues in other dimensions once you leave the earth plane. Aquarius reminds you of that unity consciousness. It reminds you that you are part of a big family of love, of life and light. And Aquarius reminds you that you are connected to other dimensions, and there is no end to your existence, your power, your beauty. And your adventure on Earth now is proof of how magnificent and powerful you are. So Aquarius reminds us that we are all one big family. And from the standpoint of the soul, the human experience is so immensely valuable. It is such a treasure for opportunities that it provides for growth and for being of service to others, right? Which Aquarius also governs. Those are all Aquarian themes, the interconnectedness of life and understanding that you're going through what you're going through on Earth at this particular time for many reasons. And you need to trust, even though you don't understand what those reasons are, you need to trust that they are worthwhile, they serve a purpose. Because when your soul leaves your body, you continue to exist, and you will take all the wisdom, all the growth that you've acquired, all the knowledge into your next adventure, the next state of your journey. Adventure is the Aquarian way. And from the standpoint of inner growth, Earth is an incredible place to learn. It is a school of schools, right? And just like the Royal Star of the Lion, number 23, see your life as courageous, as grand, as heroic. Your soul has agreed to embrace all kinds of challenges. All of the challenges in your life, your soul has agreed to partake in, to learn from. And your soul naturally then, goes without saying, has the strength, has the stamina, has the courage to benefit from every one of your experiences, regardless of how difficult and painful it is. Your soul has the power to heal every experience and to be totally transformed by every experience. So this Aquarius new moon activates a lot of exciting connections to Uranus and Mars that we've covered already. They're stimulating you to fully embrace excitement and passion and enthusiasm and the joy that your soul feels for the gift of being alive on Earth right now at this time. So when you're able to step out of that ego's perspective, you can feel that love and that awe. You know, that young children, when you're with young children, they feel such awe and wonderment and gratitude. That is your natural state. That is the state of your soul for this precious life. And it's why it's so important to learn to go beyond the false ego, the false sense of self, because then your life can be experienced only as a blessing at all times, as a gift. So with Jupiter conjunct Venus during this Aquarius new moon, exact right during the new moon, we are blessed with so many miracles. So it is possible, even in this moment right now, to feel this awe, to feel this wonderment, to feel this love, this joy, this gratitude. The question is, are you willing to go there? Are you willing to do that? And What's the only thing that would prevent you from doing that? It is a thought that interferes, that gets you off track. Remember that Aquarius rules the higher mind. So with Aquarius, you're helped in terms of noticing that if there is a thought that's impeding feeling that awe and gratitude and love and wonderment, Aquarius helps you to see that it's there and then make a choice to turn away from it. So turn your attention on the experience of feeling every moment as a sweet moment. So feel it, even if it's just a little bit, as if it is truly the sweetest moment. And if you allow yourself to feel that, it becomes your actual reality, because it is actually the truth. Every moment is designed for you, just for you. Your own moments are designed for you to experience the love in your heart. And that love is your union with God. That is the unity consciousness that Aquarius stands for. Any decision or action that's based on fear, I'm afraid, so I have to do this or not do this, rather than trust, will move you away from love, from experiencing those miracles, that sweetness. So trust in that goodness of life. And no matter what happens, no matter what occurs, what challenges, what crises, what pain, what celebrations, you walk through life untouched. You walk through life as an awakening moment, a beautiful, sweet ability to grow. And you're surrendering any fears will allow you to embrace that sweet moment every single time. So that means being ultra sensitive to life, and that will expand your experience of life in a way that allows you just to feel completely tuned in and supported, to feel that miracle inside of you. And remember, you do come from the stars, you return to the stars, you are of the stars. So may you have a glorious Aquarius new moon with those 6 celestial bodies in Aquarius. How amazing is that, right? That's a miracle right there. And don't forget your own soul code, the numbers in your birthday, the numbers and letters in your birth name, the one on your birth certificate. Those all give you ideas of what your actual purpose is, what your destiny is. And then there are also the degree numbers in your astrology birth chart as well. And in order for you to discover those or help you understand people in your life, all you need to do is to go to starcodeclass.com. I've created a free webinar with a free handout, and it helps you go on that journey, to start that journey into your star codes. So enjoy that masterclass at starcodeclass.com and have an absolutely gorgeous Aquarius new moon. May it be amazing. It's happening on February 11th. That's a master number day. The portal is opening into that sweet present moment with that number. So enjoy that. Have a beautiful week. Taste the sweetness of life. And I'll see you in next week's Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.